if Christian nationalists change the amendments of the Constitution, they change them. So now Christian nationalists go, First Amendment, that's gone, right?
Gotcha.
What the fuck is wrong with doing that? And that there be stakeholders in the nation. They actually did not trust the electorate. Even the stakeholders, they had a large amount of distrust for.
Well, the issue, what they actually had is they recognized that so when we say stakeholders, we mean like people that have some stakes in the country. What if we voted to get rid of that?
Yeah, I believe in the right of self-defense.
Well, what if we voted to get rid of that?
Then that would be within the confines of the liberal framework.
Would that be okay with you?
Okay, no.
Oh, okay.
I would object on different grounds, though. I'm not a liberal.
Sure, yeah, of course. I would object on different
the liberal,
grounds.
though, right? If that's within the confines of the framework to completely...
I'd say those American people are not American.
I get it. They're not...
And bad
They're
Christians.
very un-American.
And bad Christians.
These Americans are very un-American and bad Christians. I get it. These guys get in office, and all they do is this. They just immediately legislate that you can't be prostitutes. No.
Interrupt me because I'm cooking, don't you?
Yeah, and under the... Well,
Are you
I
gonna interrupt
got to
me or
be
did I
able
get
to
to finish?
talk, too.
You have talked lots.
I've barely said a word.
Do you feel
for
like
an hour, I've just let you prattle. It's my turn, too.
Wait, first of all, for the last hour, you've insisted on internally critiquing only me, and you wouldn't let me internally.
Okay, guys, we're about to watch Andrew Wilson absolutely dismantle a liberal's entire worldview in real time. And I mean completely dismantle it. This girl walks in thinking she's got liberalism all figured out. Freedom, democracy, the Constitution, all that good stuff. And Andrew he systematically picks apart every single argument she makes until she literally can't even define what her own belief system is anymore. Like, watch how many times she contradicts herself. Watch how she keeps moving the goalposts every time Andrew corners her. And the best part? She doesn't even realize she's doing it. By the end of this, she's literally saying that Americans who vote for things she doesn't like are un-American. Like, dude, the irony is genuinely insane. Let's get into it.
No, because
Yes.
liberalism is opposed to
Yes.
Liberalism,
Yes, again,
no,
literally.
Liberalism is opposed to tyranny.
Okay,
Inherently.
first of all,
Particularly of monarchs.
your
and
liberal
autocrats.
framework has amendments in it, and these amendments can be at any time changed by
Is my
consensus.
liberal framework the Constitution, or
Yes.
is it a framework of no, it's political philosophy. The Constitution isn't my
Now
liberal
we're to
framework.
political philosophy.
Yeah, if we're talking about
So your
liberalism.
liberal- your
Wait, what would we be using
Yeah, I
if...
just wanna- and I want to make
Do you
sure
not
that
think
your
political philosophy isn't kind of important when we're talking about liberalism,
Sure, but
a
I thought your
branch of
political
thought?
philosophy was just life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
No.
Oh,
That was something I pointed to as like a central American ethos.
so
that
what
people
is the
care about.
liberal foundational philosophy then?
Typically, it's going to be maximizing like freedoms and rights of people. So giving people both rights and what's the other one when it's not rights? It's like privileges. I forget the word. I'm blanking right now. It gives them access to rights. It has strong institutions, and in more modern forms of liberalism, which I like, by the way, it believes in a social safety net. That's liberalism.
Entitlements?
Entitlements.
No, there's like there's a political fill word where it's like you have both rights and, I don't know why I can't think of this word right now. My brain is like, you could probably look it up. Liberties, rights and liberties.
Okay.
And
Liberties are the things that you get that aren't your right.
yeah,
but you
the
have
problem
access
you
to.
have here is that your foundation here is democracy, right?
Well, a liberal system, I think, works best with a democracy. I think a liberal democracy is
So
great.
within the confines of a democracy, as long as people vote out the liberal system literally lets them do that, right?
Yeah, I agree, but this is why I think that the founding fathers did a really good job of setting up like girding principles against this, right? I'm not maximal for democracy. I actually like liberalism more than I like democracy,
see.
right? So I want my democracy to stay within the confines of liberal values.
That's nice. So let's make sure...
It is nice.
Yeah.
True. It's made all of this.
Let's
it's made
make-
the best countries on the earth. America, the country you hate, apparently, and don't think
hate it.
stands for anything.
Yeah.
You must. You want to go back to a time before America existed. You want to go back to the Byzantine Empire.
When did I say
You've
any
said
of
this
that?
multiple times. I've listened to you
You've
say
just
this.
literally
I've
made
known
all
you
of
for
that up.
3 years. I've known you since the big
So
pub
would
of
you like to
fascist days.
put $1,000 on the fact I've never said anything like going back to the Byzantine Empire? I'll
You
bet you
said that the
$1,000.
Byzantine Empire was great.
Never even said that.
Really? You don't like the Byzantine Empire?
Whether I do or don't doesn't mean I ever said that we should go back to it, does it?
Wait, do you believe this is...
Wait.
No,
Does it
I'm
mean
not
that
doing
or
it.
not?
No, I'm not doing a bet with you.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
you know
because
you're
I'm
lying.
having a wait. Well, first of all, I'm poor, so if I lose, I literally can't pay you. So there's no point. But second of all,
500?
I probably literally don't have 500.
250?
I could maybe spend 100, but I'm not interested in making a bet with you.
Well, now I understand.
Well, this is the reason why I'm rejecting the bet. Is because you're doing the thing again where you're trying to catch me on like a couple of keywords when I'm trying to talk about an idea. And so it's like, if I say a few keywords that like you don't like, we can correct them. But I would ask you, do you think the Byzantine Empire was good? Do you like it? Do you think that there's some level of what that empire was that we should try to adopt?
I think all systems have things which are valuable.
Do you think that we should try to adopt it into the American system?
No, not the Byzantine Empire. No. Of course not.
What empire would you like to see?
Well, I don't see. You see how you just loaded that? Why would I need? Why would I want to see an empire?
I can unload it.
Yeah.
What statescraft would you like to see?
Yeah. So I'm glad that you asked. Now that we understand, I feel like after letting you talk here for a while, I actually understand a much broader base for your position.
Took 3 hours for you to get there. Congrats.
Well, you don't stop talking.
I made it. I stopped talking lots, and I've made it pretty simple. You just didn't like it.
I've been letting you go and go and go. So now we can get to the. I've been letting you go and go and go. I just asked you a few questions.
Ditto.
Right.
I mean, I've tried to internally critique you, but you don't really want it. You keep running away from it. And then being bad faith and being like, I actually don't think God exists.
Anyway,
it's all assumed.
I know. I'm terrible. But
I don't think you're terrible.
So now we've gotten to Christian.
Just so it's clear. I don't think Andrew Wilson's terrible.
Can I say a word?
Well, I don't want people walking around thinking
Can I say anything in this debate?
Do you think that I think you're terrible?
No, erudite, who cares?
You said it.
Oh, my God. Can we get back to the debate?
You said it.
Okay, can we get back to the debate?
Well, do you think that I think you're terrible?
Oh, my God, who cares?
You said it.
Yeah, I do. I think you think Smokey Man bad. Yes.
Okay, I don't.
Okay, great. So anyway, back to the debate. I just want to make sure, because you haven't actually answered this question. If Christian nationalists change the amendments of the Constitution, they change them. So now Christian nationalists go, First Amendment, that's gone, right?
Gotcha.
What the fuck is wrong with doing that if it's actually in the confines of the American system to do that?
So as a Christian, I say it's unchristian to do.
That's nice. I'm asking about the political philosophy, remember?
So sure, within the political philosophy, I would say I don't believe in absolute democracy. I believe in democracy that serves liberalism values, because I think liberalism is the best political philosophy we received. So if a nation state would vote in an authoritarian, which has actually happened many times, I think that's bad. And I think the nation state has failed in that case. And I think that we should do our best with democracies to prevent the overtaking of radical
That doesn't actually answer my question.
Sure it does.
Yeah,
liberalism provides girds against that. I'm not for absolute democracy. So in my liberal system, I would say...
So who shouldn't vote?
What?
Who shouldn't vote?
I haven't said anything about who shouldn't vote.
Well, when you say absolute democracy, what does that mean?
Like popular vote. Like I don't want, just because somebody gets the most votes of people, I don't think that should be the leader. Because like cities are more popular than rural
utilizing
areas.
the system, which is liberalism and is the American framework, Christian nationalists can get amendments passed in order to tailor things to Christianity.
They can. I just think that that's wrong for Christians to do.
Yeah, that's nice that you think that, but from a political philosophy, when you're talking about political philosophy, it is just utilizing liberalism.
Sure, but I would say that it's also un-American to do, because I think that...
Yeah, how? We've had amendments against all of this shit.
Because we can go back to the beginning, because I said the American ethos is built on things like ingenuity, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. And I think when you take over the first A as a Christian nationalist and you make it so that people don't have free speech, they can only praise God, for example, I think that's un-American, because I think the founding fathers wrote it in intentionally to separate these things. They did not want to impose religion on other people. And I think that that's good, and I think it's an American value.
Why are they putting in an amendment system?
Because they recognize that over time, they're like technology and development occurs, so there are things that they haven't even thought of that might be relevant. For example, stakeholdership.
Okay, hold on. Can we just pause here for a second? Because this is where Andrew starts cooking, and she has absolutely no idea what's about to hit her. So she just said the founding fathers put in an amendment system because they wanted to account for future changes, right? Like technology and development. That sounds nice. That sounds reasonable. But here's what she's not getting, and Andrew's about to explain this to her whether she likes it or not. The founding fathers didn't trust democracy the way she thinks they did. Like, at all. They didn't believe in this magical will of the people thing that she keeps going back to. They were terrified of mob rule. They were terrified of exactly what she's describing, a bunch of people voting away the entire system. That's why they made it so only landowners could vote. That's why they set up the Electoral College. That's why they made amending the Constitution intentionally difficult. They wanted stakeholders, people with skin in the game, not just whoever happened to show up. And she doesn't want to hear this. You can tell. She keeps trying to interrupt him. She keeps trying to redirect. Because if she actually engages with what Andrew's saying here, her entire argument falls apart. And watch what happens when he brings up the Federalist Papers. She tries to say he's wrong. She says no. And then Andrew he cites the actual text. He knows this stuff cold, and she's got nothing. Look, here's the thing about these debates. When someone like Andrew actually knows the history, like actually knows it, not just the sanitized version they teach in public schools, it's game over. Because liberalism as a philosophy has all these built-in contradictions, and Andrew's exposing every single one of them. She keeps saying life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, like it's some magic shield that protects her worldview. But Andrew's like, okay, cool, but what happens when the majority votes to take that away? And she's like, well, that would be un-American. And he's like, but it's literally using the American system to do it. And she can't answer it. She circles back to the same talking points over and over. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole un-American thing she keeps saying. Because to me, it sounds like she's just calling anything she doesn't like un-American, which is exactly what Andrew's getting at.
For example, people are rejecting the status quo and they want to move outside of the idea of liberalism.
I think the founding fathers probably thought that democracy was good no matter what, and that we should definitely try to stay with
That's really funny because they basically let nobody vote.
Well, why? If you want to go back
because they didn't
here.
trust the electorate.
No.
Yes. Oh, yes.
No.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
Okay, we can just go to Federalist number 2. You're very wrong about this.
No, I'm very right. The Federalist Papers even are specific about this. There's a reason that they demanded that there be stakeholders in the nation. They actually did not trust the electorate. Even the stakeholders, they had a large amount of distrust for.
Well, the issue, what they actually had is they recognized that so when we say stakeholders, we mean like people that have some stakes in the country, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason that they recognize is that different people that have different stakes in the country. And so they were very concerned about people with very low stakes in the country to
which
tyrannize.
was most people.
But the stakes,
That was most people.
So land owning was used as a proxy because they thought if anyone is going to want to see America continue and America to flourish, irrespective of what they personally want,
then most people couldn't vote.
it would be landowners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Most
the issue
people
is,
couldn't vote.
I agree.
Yeah, for a reason.
Well, I would say the reason was built on bad premises, right? They were concerned, for example, that the landless man would be less invested in the country. And I would say, there's a lot of people that don't own land that are very patriotic to their. You got to interrupt me because I'm cooking, don't you?
Yeah, and under the I got to be able to talk too.
You have talked lots.
I've barely said a word.
Do you feel
for
like
an hour? I've just let you prattle. It's my turn too.
Wait, first of all, for the last hour, you've insisted on internally critiquing only me, and you wouldn't let me internally critique you.
No, you can internally critique.
Second of all,
you can internally critique. But here's my question to you. I'm just curious because I still don't understand why it would be that if we changed an amendment, that's anti-democratic or anti-liberal.
I didn't say it's anti-democratic. I said that it would be un-American.
It's not un-American.
Yes, it is because the first
we've changed how many amendments?
We've added a number of amendments, yeah.
And changed them.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah, but
like, for instance, we added women's suffrage.
Yep,
we had an amendment for prohibition, and then we got rid of the amendment for prohibition. We've added and taken away many amendments.
Sure, yeah. And I
the
think
American system's actually a hodgepodge, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the beauties of it. But I think like one of the things that are central to the American dream, the thing that makes America stick out, which makes it the unique country that it was, so unique actually, that when other monarchies fell, they adopted similar structures to us, is things like free speech, like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
So that's
that Thomas Jefferson
again.
and the founding fathers looked at the world and said, we need a government system that's for the common man and reduces the capacity or possibility of tyranny.
Built into liberalism, the idea of the guardrail bumpers, right? Checks and balances. If the population gets the right to vote, which it now has, it has almost totally universal suffrage, except in very minimal cases, then passing these amendments becomes much easier based on the agenda of the people. That's within the confines.
Why would it be much easier?
Because at that point, you can consolidate power blocks and parties, which was an emergent property of universal suffrage.
So the issue is when you have these two parties, why would you be more likely to pass an amendment when amendments actually require a large amount of votes, right? You can't it's not just 50-50, right? I don't remember what the
Because
exact
if you
amount
have
is.
two parties, you're probably going to have a lot of your politicians under one party flag or the other.
Right, you want them to work together. It's a separation of power.
No, unless one has overwhelming control, which
Yes.
can easily happen.
Yes, but it's actually interesting when you look at like the creation of the United States.
Back to
they
this.
went back and
back to this. I just want to make sure
You don't want to deal with
when
any
you
facts of the reality.
When
hey?
if you have an overwhelming amount of a single party who's in charge, right, then getting things passed is much easier.
Sure, it absolutely is much
Mm-hmm.
easier. But this is why, for example, we've done things like splitting the Senate so that you need like 60 votes to try to prevent like true partisan voting.
They can end the filibuster.
They could. They probably won't, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
but they could.
They may. And the thing is, they can also pack the court. That's all within the confines of liberalism.
I agree, and
the
I think
very
that when
idea
people,
here that we can't utilize liberalism to remove parts of the liberal framework that we don't
I'm not
like
rejecting that.
is well then there
I'm saying
can
it's
be no
un-American.
It's not un-American. It's
It is
the most
un-American.
American.
I would say it's un-American to get rid of some of the most foundational things, which is like the pursuit of life, liberty, and
No,
happiness.
the
I think that if
most-
we do things like that,
It's not getting rid of any of those.
Hold on, you can do that. But
Yeah.
if, for example, Christian nationalists took
Yeah.
power and they
Yeah.
wanted to get rid of the First Amendment, I would say that is a violation of life, liberty. That's a big violation of liberty, which would be un-American. I would say those Christian nationalists are un-American. They don't believe in the ethos that made the state great, which was the common man gets a say, that he has his rights protected.
Would you say the same thing about the Second Amendment?
Yeah, I actually like the Second Amendment.
Great. So I should be able to own a bazooka?
Potentially, I just think like all of the like natural limits to it are
What are natural limits?
most people can't afford it. They like storage, for example. I think states would have
they're
a right to
cheap.
store it.
they're
bazookas?
they're within the confines.
Sure, but I think a state would regulate a lot on like what you can like do with it.
Wait a second. I'm
Wait, are
confused.
you against 2A?
Are you saying? Are
you against 2A?
Are you saying, no. I'm a big Second Amendment
So
supporter.
should you be able to own a bazooka?
Sure.
Okay, why?
Absolutely. Well, because it's within the confines of the right.
Why does that matter though? What if we
Well,
voted to get rid of that?
Yeah, I believe in the right of self-defense.
Well, what if we voted to get rid of that?
Then that would be within the confines of the liberal framework.
Would that be okay with you?
Okay, no.
Oh, okay.
I would object on different grounds, though. I'm not a liberal.
Sure, yeah, of course. I would
you,
object on
the
different
liberal,
grounds.
though, right? That's within the confines of the framework to completely eliminate the Second Amendment.
Sure, I've never rejected that. I've said
Yeah.
that it would be un-American
It's
to
that.
do so.
How's that un-American?
Because I think like 2A, for example, gun culture is extremely American. It's a deeply, deeply American
Sure,
value.
I would agree with that. But what's not un-American is removing amendments that Americans don't like. That's the most American thing.
Sure.
The most American thing is Americans introducing things and amendments that they like. It's getting rid of amendments that they don't like. It's doing things that they fucking want based on what it is that they want. And so if Americans say, we want Christian nationalism and we'll impose various amendments for Christian nationalism, that is the most American thing
I think if
can
America
of.
goes back towards like a more theocratic state, I think it is fundamentally now have become something that isn't America anymore. I would be the person running around like Trump
Based
saying,
on what?
we need to make
The
America
last
great
40
again.
years?
The founding fathers and the
The
entire
founding fathers
point,
gave the states the ability
the
to do
entire
it.
point of the Revolutionary War, which was to break away from tyranny and to separate power so that the common man had a chance to exist
point of
and
the
have a
rev-
right to
if
have
you-
a right to speak
yeah.
to those who
That
govern
was
to him.
great sloganeering, but the truth is,
It's not just
the
sloganeering, it's American.
The Revolutionary War was about money. The very first thing George Washington did was implement a tax. Very first thing he did was institute, and it led to the Whiskey Rebellion. He put a tax on whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that, like, our founders who wanted apportioned taxes, directly apportioned taxes, wanted us in any way to have a fucking income tax? Because that is against life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're the most taxed country on planet Earth. One of the
don't
most
think that's-
taxed on planet Earth.
I don't think that's right.
And it's like
most Western liberal democracies
look,
are taxed more.
if you went back,
Do you wanna walk that one back,
If you went
or-
back to our founders,
Can we see if there's anybody that taxes more on income than America? I just want to fact check you.
it's not just income.
No,
So
you
we're
said
one of
income
the
tax.
most taxed countries on planet Earth. So the thing
there's
is,
no more. There's no other Western liberal
I
democracies.
said
that tax.
one of the most. Yes. So anyway,
You said the most, but yeah.
okay, whatever. There's my
Oh,
qualifier.
look, we can actually give grace
yeah,
to
whatever.
one another.
So anyway,
for
back
slip-ups
to
of
this
words.
before you
Amazing.
divert
Imagine
again,
doing
because
that.
that's all you do is divert. When it is the case,
not diverted, I'm answering all your
when it is
questions.
the case that you move back to, I don't know, let's say 1800, do you think that they would have allowed an income tax?
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
No.
Probably not. I have no idea.
No.
Though.
Do you think that the way that people are taxed right now, that our founders fought for that?
Sort of, yes.
Yes.
Sort of, yes. Because I think the thing that the founders cared about was that the common man gets a say on the policy.
They did
and that
not
they
want
have,
an income tax at all.
Okay. I don't think income tax by itself just breaks this entire American ethos. I don't think it's just shattered, right? So I imagine
Why not?
because like I said before,
It's
I
a
think
threat to life, liberty, and the
Dude, did you catch what just happened there? Andrew just got her to say that Americans who vote for things she disagrees with are, quote, not American. Like, she literally said that. She said, I'd say those American people are not American. Do you understand how insane that is? This is the liberal mindset in a nutshell, guys. Democracy is great as long as people vote the way I want them to vote. But the second they vote for something I don't like, well, then they're not real Americans. Then they're bad Christians. Then they're un-American. It's the most elitist, condescending, gatekeeping nonsense I've ever heard. And Andrew knows it. You can hear it in his voice. He's like, I get it. He's mocking her. Because she just walked right into the trap. She spent this entire debate saying liberalism is about freedom and democracy and the will of the people. And then, when Andrew gives her a hypothetical where the people actually use that system to vote in Christian nationalist policies, which, by the way, is completely within the framework she's been defending this whole time, she panics. She can't say it's wrong from a liberal standpoint because it's not. It's literally just democracy working. So instead, she pivots to this vague American ethos thing. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Which, cool, great slogan. But as Andrew keeps pointing out, that's not a political system. That's just vibes. And vibes don't protect you when the majority decides they want something different. And here's the kicker. She's so deep in her bubble that she genuinely believes her version of liberalism is the default. Like it's just baked into reality. Like it's a law of nature. She can't even comprehend that people might reject it, or that they might use the exact same democratic tools she loves to dismantle it. And Andrew's just sitting there like, yeah, that's the point. Your system has no foundation. It's just consensus. And consensus changes. And when it does, you don't get to cry and say, that's un-American. Because the whole point of America, according to you, is that people get to vote for what they want. So which is it? Is it democracy, or is it your specific ideology that you're calling democracy? She never answers that question. She just keeps dodging. Let me know in the comments if you think Andrew won this exchange, because to me, it's not even close.
Threat to life and liberty.
Because they're directly taking an unapportioned tax from people.
How is that a threat to life and liberty? I'll just ask you again.
Because don't you think that you need to have money in order to have liberty?
Sure, but in case of liberties, this is things you get access to. So one of the things that taxes do is they give you access to things like free education.
Okay, wait a second. The income, you can have sales taxes, things like that. That's constitutional.
Yeah.
Initially, there was no income tax in the Constitution.
Sure.
Yeah. So why was that passed, do you know?
Probably because we needed to have greater government receipts so that we could pay for the things that we wanted, that we collectively had decided would be better for the nation state.
No, it's because of the Monster of Jekyll Island. It was written by a bunch of bankers, essentially. And Jackson was against it first, and he killed...
Well, he was against the centralized bank.
He killed because the bank wanted to create an income tax.
That's not actually just...
It is actually true.
So I agree that that's true. What you're presuming, though, you're trying to make it seem like Jackson was most opposed because of income tax. Jackson was most opposed to the central bank. To the central bank specifically because he was concerned about government statesmen having access and control over economy. He wanted that to be separate.
He was
as a separation of power.
He was concerned about debt. That's why one of the first things he did was pay ours off.
Okay, all of these are...
It was about debt.
So you'd agree that Jackson had multiple reasons for why he was opposed?
Well,
not just income tax.
Yeah, but income tax would have made him lose his fucking mind.
So do you think that it is un-American
and the point is
for people
like,
to have...
It's completely American to roll back the income tax. It's completely American to roll back all of these various amendments.
You're equivocating again. So what you're doing is you're saying liberalism and the process of democracy gives us the capacity to change rules. And you're saying that's America.
That's the most American.
No, so I'm arguing that the most American thing is the value of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness,
but you keep on
ingenuity, science,
but
development.
You keep equivocating because on the one hand you say that's not foundational, that's not a foundation for my philosophy. Is life, liberty, pursuit of happiness? And then when I say wait, the most American thing that we can do is the most. How is this equivocating? Is the American thing that we always do, and then you move back and forth between these two ideals as though they're interchangeable. My foundation's actually political ideology. No, my foundation's actually life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
I've never said both. Hold on, Andrew. So
Kyla.
You're being bad faith again.
No, you're being bad faith, Kyla, by saying I'm bad faith.
Good job. Yeah. So I have never said that my moral system is life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. I didn't say moral system. You did.
I'm talking about foundational system for liberalism.
for the American ethos.
Yeah,
not for
whatever
liberalism.
Whatever that is.
No, I said the foundation for liberalism is something of balance of state power, right? There is strong institutions, protections of human rights and liberties, and in modern liberalism especially, some form of like welfare state or caretaking.
Got it. Now,
so, hold on. Can we just acknowledge right now that you are the one equivocating because you slipped
I'm going to
between
make
saying,
sure that we have it.
Hold on, just let me finish my thoughts.
Go ahead.
You were saying that
Yeah.
my moral system
Yeah.
is this life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, but I've never said that.
Not
and then
that.
you said,
The foundation
no,
of
the foundation of America. And I said, yeah, that's the American ethos. And they said, yeah, liberalism. I said, no, liberalism's foundation is
Okay.
these other things. So
then
you're the one equivocating. You're trying to
let's
split
make sure I'm
between
not
all these
equivocating.
things.
When we
Okay.
reduce it down, the thing that makes Christian nationalism un-American is that it's a threat to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That Christian nationalists, if they had their way, would impose Christian ethics and restrictions on people that they wouldn't accept. And I think realistically, Christian nationalists, if they had their full way, would usher in a theocracy. And a theocracy is fundamentally un-American.
Got it. Now, let's say Christian nationalists are able to take power, okay, through their, machinations, running for political office. Guys like Fuentes, super popular. Many people like this. They sway the electorate. The electorate puts them in office under the promise that they're going to change many of these things, right?
I'd say those American people are not American.
I get it. They're not.
And bad
They're
Christians.
very un-American.
And bad Christians.
These Americans are very un-American and bad Christians. I get it. These guys get in office, and all they do is this. They just immediately legislate that you can't be prostitutes, no prostitution, no pimping, no gay marriage, right? That's all they do. They keep everything else equal, right? Can you tell me why it would be that you would oppose that?
Typically in the criminalization of prostitution, we typically see that women are disproportionately abused as a result.
Well, how would it be un-American, I guess?
I didn't say it would be un-American.
Okay, but it's definitely in direct violation of this whole liberty thing, right?
Not necessarily. Right.
All right, so Andrew Wilson absolutely demolished this girl. Like, there's no other way to say it. From start to finish, he cornered her, exposed every contradiction in her worldview, and forced her to admit things she clearly didn't want to admit. She walked into this debate thinking liberalism is this rock-solid system based on freedom and democracy. And Andrew systematically showed her that it's not. It's just a set of preferences that people currently agree on. And the second people stop agreeing, the whole thing collapses. Because there's no foundation. There's no transcendent moral framework. It's just vibes and slogans. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Okay, cool. What happens when people vote to redefine those terms? What happens when people decide your version of liberty isn't actually liberty? She had no answer. And every time Andrew pressed her on it, she moved the goalposts. First, it was about democracy. Then it was about the Constitution. Then it was about the American ethos. Then it was about the Founding Fathers. Then it was about what's un-American. She kept shifting because she couldn't defend any single position. And Andrew saw through all of it. He called her out for equivocating. He called her out for being bad faith. He cited the Federalist Papers. He brought up Jackson and the central bank. He knew the history better than she did. And when you actually know the history, you realize the Founding Fathers were not these liberal ideologues she's pretending they were. They were pragmatists who built a system for a specific type of people with specific values. And they didn't trust pure democracy at all. Andrew gets that. She doesn't. And that's why she lost. The other thing that killed me about this debate, and Andrew caught this too, is how elitist her position is. She literally said that Americans who vote for Christian nationalism are not American. Like, who gave her the authority to decide that? That's not liberalism. That's authoritarianism with a smiley face. It's, I believe in democracy as long as you vote the way I want you to vote. And if you don't, well, then you're not a real American. That's insane. That's exactly the kind of thinking that's destroying this country. And Andrew exposed it perfectly. So yeah, Andrew won, decisively. This wasn't even close. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you drop a like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. We do this kind of analysis all the time here at MB. And let me know in the comments who you think won this debate and what your favorite moment was. For me, it was when she said, "Those American people are not American." That was the moment she lost the entire argument. Anyway, stay sharp. I'll see you in the next one.